Welcome to the Orlando Lions Den podcast, your number one Orlando City podcast. For the fans, by the fans. For the fans, by the fans. Keeping you in the know on all things Orlando City since 2018.
Hello, everybody. Welcome into another edition of the Orlando Lions Den podcast. It's your boy Mike here, hosting tonight. We got some fantasy football avid watchers with us. I got my man Cleon and my buddy Alex here with me. Cleon, how you feeling right now at the fact that Josh Allen's giving you life? Oh no, he froze right as we hit record, didn't he?
He's loading.
There he is. Cleon, you there?
We're talking to you, Cleon.
Oh, Wi-Fi went stupid. He just said it. Okay, we'll skip him for now. Alex, my man, how are you doing over there?
Yeah, I'm here, bro. I don't know what just happened. I guess Josh Allen made my Wi-Fi. I must go haywire or something.
Well, respect Josh Allen for doing some kind of magic for you.
We normally blame it on Elon. This time we blame it on Josh Allen, and he doesn't even own the streaming. So
Something's always going on. Alex, how you doing, my man?
it's been a minute. Since the last time I was on, I was 0-3 in fantasy. I'm now going to be 3-3. I have avoided 2 hurricanes, including nearly 4 days of power outages. My thoughts are with those who were more severely impacted by both storms. I'm tired of hurricanes, guys. Like, I don't care who controls them. We can talk about that, not at all, but let's get rid of these hurricanes. Let's get to non-hurricane season, and I will instead deal with the northerners coming down to Naples. But Orlando City, meanwhile, looking good. One match right before the hurricane, Milton, whatever, give him back his stapler. That match made me feel pretty good going into it. I have good memories of Orlando City matches going into hurricanes between Ian, Irma, and now Milton. So excited to talk to you guys for a hot minute and talk to the fans before decision day, because it is upon us.
That is true. Decision day is upon us, and I'm going to go ahead and just piggyback off of you for a second. First off, just say, obviously we took last week off because we all wanted to get prepared for Milton. I know a lot of us have been affected by it. I know a couple guys that we're close with lost power for a while. Hope to hear that everyone's doing well and staying safe. I know for me, my car just missed getting hit by a tree by about 3 feet. And if the tree felt a different direction, it was going to go into my building. So we got lucky over here. So hopefully everyone is doing well. I'm with you. I'm with you, Alex. We don't want any more hurricanes. I think this year we've had enough already with these last 2. So Cleon, I know you're having some issues with lag. You doing a little bit better over there?
Survey says no.
He's got himself muted right now, so I don't know.
Dude, you're watching.
Oh, okay.
We're off to a great start.
It's going great. Did he? Oh my God!
What's going on, man?
I'm
lagging like crazy. I'm lagging like crazy. I didn't hear words you
just
said, bro.
Oh, Aaron Rodgers.
Was that completed? That's insane.
Yeah, they said touchdown. We're watching Monday Night Football at the end of the half for everyone that's wanting to rip their ear pods out. But you should do sponsors, Mike.
It is Alan Lazard.
And it is. Oh, this is a perfect night for me.
All right, guys. All right, well, let's go ahead. Let's talk
Perfect.
since Cleon's lagging and we're all mystified watching football. Let's go ahead and talk sponsors real quick. So first, obviously, we're gonna go ahead and give a shout out to Hourglass Brewing. We're gonna try and see if we could get something sorted for the road playoff game that we're gonna have with them. We'll talk more about that soon if and when it happens. So be on the lookout for that because we liked what we did with them with the No Mango No Party. We'd like to be back. Then let's go ahead and shout out if you're looking to buy a house. Chad McGibbon at Chad McGibbon Realty. QR codes on the screen. You can go ahead and contact him on Twitter. Longtime Orlando City fan. If you are looking to buy a house, Chad can assist you. And if you're looking to buy a house, go ahead and also talk to Leo with the Epic Mortgage Team, powered by U Mortgage. Leo's been a long time friend of the show. Interest rates are supposedly on their way down. Take advantage of it while you can. If you're trying to buy a house or if you're trying to refinance, maybe they could go ahead. He could go ahead and get you a good deal. And living in Florida right now, we have to talk about insurance. Hit up our man Eddie, Comparing Insurance. If he can't get you the best rate, he's not going to go ahead and beat around the bush. He's going to give it to you straight, try and help out, get you the best rate possible, whether it be car insurance, home insurance, Apple Watch insurance, pet insurance. He's got you on all kinds of insurances. So,
would you say it's maybe beat around the close tree branch this week, Mike?
Could be.
Too soon?
Could be. Yeah. Hey, again, lucked out. It didn't hit my car. We were very, very close. They're in the process of almost having all of that tree removed. It took forever for them to do it, but the thing got chopped up, and yeah, it's just been sitting. But with that being said, I'll talk about sponsors out of the way. And I sped run that. This might be a quick one. Who knows? I just jinxed it. We're probably going to talk forever now. We got 2 games that we got to talk about that we missed out on while we were away. So first, I want to go ahead and talk a little bit about win over Philly 2-1 at home. We got some magic from Facundo Torres, magic from Duncan McGuire, both assists delivered by one Luis Muriel, a man that some of us were questioning where he's been, what he's been up to, what he's doing. But he was able to go ahead and find some magic in off the bench, providing some assists. And it's good to see Facundo Torres remaining hot and Duncan McGuire scoring again off of the bench. So I'm going to lead by going to Cleon first to see if he can hear me in real time. Cleon, what's your thoughts on the game against Philly? I think you're muted, my man. There he is.
My thoughts on the Philly game. That was a well played game for us. I was really happy with that one. And I mean, both of these games, honestly, is like for me, Philly. They're always a team. I think I said it last time. They're always the team that worries me. Because they're really well coached for the most part, and they seem to always play as well. So I was worried about that game, so I was happy to get a good W out of that, man. Those 3 points were well needed.
Absolutely, and I agree with everything you had to say there. Those strong 3 points. Philly is a really good team. They're a well-coached team, and the fact that we are looking at a Philly team that is currently sitting outside of the playoffs is honestly incredible to me. And I hope it stays that way. Alex, what about you, man? What do you think about the game?
Yeah, exactly.
It's still, I will piggyback off that. It's crazy to me that Philly is on the outside looking in because they've always looked good the last couple of years, and this year's just not been their year. I mean, the particular thing about this match, it was almost 2 weeks ago at this point, but it's crazy to me that they come off a draw against Atlanta. I believe it was in Atlanta, if I'm not, no, it was in Philly. And we come off our win in Dallas, thrashing Dallas. You guys talked about that on the pod, but we go into Philly and we look pretty good. Like there was not a ton of doubt once Facundo got that goal. It was nice to see though Duncan come off the bench, and it's weird that he's coming off the bench after this contract extension, that he's still the bench guy. And even then, I don't think he's mad about it. I don't think anybody should be mad about this, because having such a great player come off the bench, I mean, no disrespect to Tesho, but we used to rely on Tesho off the bench a lot. And now that we have freaking Duncan McGuire coming off the bench, it's a nice upgrade. Moriel, though, with both assists, like, he looked a lot better. And I've been critical of him a lot this season because we spent a lot of money on him. He didn't integrate. But his one great factor has been he's been putting some great balls into the box and giving the players that actually want to go for goals, giving them a chance. He's unselfish, and that's one thing that I think he's good at.
So I'm not going to lie. The second that you decided to name drop Tesho, I was like, I have no idea where the hell this is about to go. But
you think I'm going to talk about walkable real estate?
Some Yimby stuff. I don't know, but but
love you, Tesho.
Shout out to Tesho. But yeah, no, you're right. We're kind of in a situation where we really have a little bit of it's almost an embarrassment of riches. Enrique being in the form that he's in, Duncan still scoring off the bench, and now we're also in a situation where Facundo Torres has been on fire. Martin Ojeda has still been delivering quality assists and play in the final third. And then you have a guy like Luis Muriel, who looks like he's finally clicked for him what his role with the team is. Having that kind of, embarrassment, it's just that, like I said, it's an embarrassment of riches. The fact that exactly the fact that we have this many players on our team that are currently in a situation where we can kind of expect them to score at almost any time. I will say though, following that up, there's only one player realistically that I would say is one questionable when it comes to scoring, and that's what we usually say about Mr. Ivan Angulo. But then he goes and picks up a goal against Cincy.
Great segue.
That's what I'm good at, man. That's what I kind of pride myself on, is the segues. This was honestly a hell of a performance. I don't have a better way to describe it, so pardon me saying the HE double hockey sticks word. But the way that this team performed at Cincy was just remarkable. And if I recall correctly, we even rotated a little bit. Luis Muriel started over Ojeda in this game. Dagger Dan's still been hurt. So Kyle Smith was in. I think did we also, if I recall correct, actually, did we have? No, we picked up a yellow card suspension in this game for Wilder, I believe. He'll be suspended on the final day. But we got 2 goals from Ramiro Enrique, 1 from Angulo, and I need to go ahead and give a shout out to Mr. Kyle Smith with the assist of his life on Ramiro Enrique's first goal. I don't think that you would have seen a prettier cross put in this week. Great goal, absolutely lights out. Then capitalizing on their mistakes. We let them play. They kept making mistakes. I will say the goal we conceded to Lucho Acosta in this game, in my opinion, it was a beautiful shot. Obviously, he's an MVP candidate in Lucho Acosta. Great player. I expect a little bit better from Pedro on that one. He definitely cheated too far and gave him the entire side of the net to aim at. And a player that good will punish you for something like that. But even with some rotation in our team, this is the game that we've been asking for. We've been sitting here for a while saying we need to beat teams ahead of us in the table. And that's something that we just have not been able to do. And it's something we've struggled with this entire season. So for us to go into Cincinnati and beat the brakes off of them, something that has to make you feel good, right, Alex?
Oh, absolutely. Like you're talking about the riches of Enrique, but I'm pretty sure he was the technical assist contributor for that Angulo dribbler. That was Enrique.
It was.
All three goals Enrique contributed to. Angulo's goal was a fluke goal, but he got the shot off, and that's what matters. And then Angulo returns the favor and gets the assist for Enrique's second goal. Like, we thought that green card Enrique is dead. The rumors of his death are long exaggerated because he's right back at it. He didn't take one. He got benched or subbed for load management or whatever for like 1 or 2 matches, and he's right back at it. And this is exactly what we need going into the playoffs. And oh, by the way, Enrique's 72nd minute goal set the all-time record that we broke the all-time record from last year for all-time Orlando City scoring. Like, if you would have told me in like May that we were going to break the record for scoring that we set last year, I would have told you were nuts. And here we are going into decision day with a red hot offense that is just clicking. And like we were talking about earlier, we got guys coming off the bench. Duncan's coming off the bench. Moriel comes off the bench quite a bit. It's a good time to be an Orlando City fan. And even Angulo, who we've been very critical of, supposedly he has something on Oscar to have him start so many matches, but even Angulo is contributing. And going into Cincy, who honestly was in kind of a rough run of form coming into this, they'd lost to LA and NYCFC and drew against Nashville before that. We manhandled them, like in ways that none of the other teams I just mentioned did. 3-1 in their house. And was it midweek or was that Saturday? I honestly,
Cincy was Saturday. It was midweek.
Okay, so
was the home against Philly. Yeah.
Okay. So again, we look good and we're clicking. The team looks good. I'm just hoping we can keep this going into the final week and going into this playoff series. But we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Like, and you mentioned Kyle Smith. Shout out to Kyle Smith. Like, how did JOC, his single greatest contribution to this team was bringing Kyle Smith out of Louisville, and somehow he survives and keeps going. This is what, his 6th year at this point? He's second all time for starts at this point for Orlando, or appearances, at 174 in all competitions. He's going to get 148 in MLS if he starts this week.
Yeah, and that's
crazy.
one thing we don't know if we're expecting him to start or anything this week, because we are still waiting for update on if Dagger Dan is going to be good to go. Bracalo also has still been injured. Realistically, if they don't play this week, I'm perfectly fine with that. I'd rather them be ready for the playoffs.
Yep.
But I do want to go ahead and say, just because of the fact that you mentioned that we broke the record for most goals scored in a season by Orlando City, I just want to go ahead and shout myself out real quick, because my bold prediction at the beginning of this season, and I'm pretty sure I said it on the preview pod, so it's there. You could go back and listen.
Receipts.
I said my bold prediction this year is that we would have 3 Orlando City players that would be double-digit goal scorers. We have now hit that. It was 2 that I expected and 1 that I didn't. My thought process was that it was going to be Facundo Torres, Duncan McGuire if he stayed around, and then it was going to be either Luis Muriel or Martin Ojeda. I am pleasantly surprised that Ramiro Enrique ended up being the third one. So I'm definitely happy with that. It's great to see the team scoring. And again, if you told me that it was going to be this bad, or if it was going to be this rough, or that we were from where we were 17 weeks into the season, I never would have thought that we would have made it to this point.
And a majority of those goals came in the second half of the season.
Exactly.
A vast majority. I think it was 17 through 17 was what we said on the pod. It was something that crazy.
So what we had was through the first 17 games. I don't know. I don't remember where the goals were at. I think we maybe had 21 goals, but we had only had 17 points is what it was. So
that's it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Still, that's pretty insane too. I don't think we're setting the points record though.
No, not quite. Cleon, are you back with us, man? Are you good? Or are you still struggling over there? You're muted right now, so.
Have you tried turning it off and back on again?
I think that's what he did.
He also switched rooms, so still got to have Monday Night Football on. Turn your mic on, my dude.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I'm still lagging like crazy.
Hey man,
just keep talking.
Maybe it's
we got local reporting.
Did a little something. I don't know. Even
so here's the thing: StreamYard's local recording is going to most likely still screw this up. So it's not perfect yet. StreamYard's working on it. So worst case, Cleon, if you got a dip because connection's not going well, it's all good. We can take care of it. So if you hear anything and you want to jump in, just pause me and we'll go from there. If not, go watch the football game. See if Josh Allen can win you a game.
Hey, I'll just stay on mute. If I hear you guys talking, consecutively, then I'd be like, okay, it must be all right. But I'll just stay on mute.
Well, I mean, it sounds like you're kind of caught up with us right now, right?
Tell us what you think.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, so, I mean, if you're good right now, while I got you, give me your thoughts on this team scoring goals right now.
Yeah, I'm loving it, man. I'm loving it. You know me, I'm all about them goals. I want to be entertained. I want to win first, but I also want to be entertained. You know what I mean? I'll take a shoot. I've said a million times. I'll take a 5-3 win over a 1-0 any day of the week. I like to be entertained. Right now, everybody's firing on all cylinders. And Enrique's on fire. Duncan's on fire. Facu's on fire. And Kulo even got one. I mean, come on, man. Your boy can play leading into these playoffs, man. We just need to keep that rolling. And we don't want to repeat the last year to where we switch up tactics once we hit the playoffs and try to get back to being, playing a little negative. You know what I mean? So as of right now, bro, this is what I want to see. And if we're going to win, if we're ever going to win something, it's going to be playing like this. It's not, it's not that 1-0 ball.
Exactly. I'm with you on that. It's got to be. We got to be playing to beat teams. We got to be playing not just to get by teams. That's because that's what it looks like sometimes. It looks like the team, in the past, especially early in the season, we were playing more to not lose. Now we're playing to win. And that's what I like more about watching the team.
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is.
Well, and you're talking about
that's exactly what it is. There's playing to win, and there's playing not to lose.
Yeah, and you're talking about these 1-0 matches. Guess what? It has been a hot minute since we have not scored more than one goal in a match. The last time that happened was honestly in Leagues Cup when we drew Cruz Azul. That was the last time. Oh no, that's not true. Sporting KC right after which that was embarrassing. But again, we're scoring goals in matches, and that's what we need to do right now, because going into the playoffs hot is better than doing what we were doing in the start of the season, which that's a whole different team at this point. This team has gelled. The tactics have gotten better from Oscar. He's definitely making some subs. I mean, the Felipe subs that we keep talking about are whatever. That's a off-season wish list thing that we can talk about all day and night once this season is over. But all love to Felipe, but someone else has got to take that place, especially with Wilder out on yellow card suspension for decision day. But we're not playing this hold back soccer anymore. We're playing aggressive, want to get those goals, want to dominate our opponents. I mean, shoot, from the Nashville game all the way through the Charlotte game, we didn't allow any goals for 270 minutes. And then the Columbus game happens. I know I'm going far back. It's been a minute since I've been on the pod, so I like to talk about it, but we're having a good time scoring goals, and we got to keep it up. I want to see us do this a lot to Atlanta, because partially I just want to see them cry before they go play golf for their long off season.
I mean, I'm always down to watch Atlanta United fans cry.
Petroleum tears.
And enjoy your cheap concessions. Go ahead and cry about that. So
at least you got Kirk Cousins. Go cash your Coles cash.
Oh man, is Kirk Cousins even a flex? I don't know that he is.
They think he is.
I guess so. I don't know. They're the most confusing team, I think, in football, because I know on draft night we all looked at them like, what? So oh geez. But I feel good. I feel good about everything that's going on right now. All right, Cleon looks like he's lagging again, so we'll just keep going. We'll do what we're able to do. But realistically, where I'm at, I think it's time to just go ahead and talk some, just some stock up, stock down. We might as well go ahead and do that. Everyone's favorite segment, nice and easy. I'm going to go ahead and lead off on this one. And then for me, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to have to give it to Enrique, because I kind of gave it to him a little bit in the fact that I thought that he was falling off a little bit. But 2 goals and an assist, still was dangerous against Philly, but 2 goals and an assist against Cincy definitely was something that you kind of looked at and you're like, all right, this guy, he's back on it. He's ready to go. And you were right earlier, Alex, mentioning that other assist, even though Angulo's goal was a little bit of a fluke, that assist was realistically very, very impressive by Enrique to go ahead and get control of the ball and stock
like
down
the bottom of his foot where he just went boop.
And stock down for me, I'm gonna keep it super simple, and I'm just gonna give it to Wilder. You, especially knowing that you have yellow card accumulation suspensions coming at you, dude, you got to be smarter with it. You just have to be. It's one of those things that you just can't be doing that, and you know better. So while I love Wilder very much, it's just he knows he's got to improve there. And it looks like we lost Cleon again, so we'll probably just continue the rest of the show without him and just do it just the 2 of us, because
we'll do it live.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Yeah, and StreamYard's live recordings is questionable sometimes. It's not a perfect thing. The way that they do it right now is, if you want to download them all separately, then you can edit them together. They don't live record and then sync, which is the most annoying thing. So that's me ranting about technical stuff that most people don't care about. But I know Alex knows exactly what I'm talking about. So.
This is 2 nerds talking about podcasting behind the scenes. It speaks to me.
That's one of the things where Riverside I thought was a slightly better platform, but StreamYard I think has been kind of perfect for us. So It is what it is. StreamYard, they're working on that. They're going to make it better. I know that. But okay, so stock up, Enrique. Stock down, Wilder. Alex, hit me with your stock up, stock down.
My stock up is to Angulo because his form is still not perfect, but he's contributing, and that's what we need right now. He's not perfect. He's still making some weird passes, making some weird crosses, and definitely some Rivas level shots, but he's still contributing. And that's what we need right now from a player that has been consistent in the lineup. I'll echo you on stock down. Wilder, that was, yeah, I don't know if we're necessarily going to miss him against Atlanta, like on a purely like existential level, but I do think that was a dumb decision to get that foul. And yeah, yellow card accumulation sucks, but does it carry over? You're the one, all things rules. Does it carry over to the playoffs, or does it get wiped clean? Because I honestly would rather have it happen now than in the first match of the playoffs.
So from what I saw somebody say on Twitter, so I don't know for certain, they mentioned that they believe that it wipes clean at the end of the season. So,
then it's really dumb.
If that's the case, it would have been fine. But at the same time, I know we've also carried suspensions over to start the next season before. So I think more than likely it would have been that the suspension would have maybe gone to the beginning of next season instead of into the playoffs. So
who was it that got carried over in CCC? Like someone was suspended for our first match against Calgary.
It was who got the red card at the end of the game against Tigres last year?
Might have been Wilder.
It might have been Wilder. I don't remember though.
Well, I'll look it up in FootMob. You can carry on.
Look up the Orlando City Tigres history. I did text Cleon to see like if you got a shout out before the end of the show, send it to me and I'll make sure that I read it for you. But with that being said, this is definitely going to be a shorter show now because it's just the two of us.
I don't know. We'll see.
we have a tendency to talk. So with that being said, before we talk about our final game against Atlanta, it is decision day. For the most part, or actually not for the most part, as far as I know, the Western Conference, they're fighting for seeding. The 9 teams that are in are the 9 teams that are in. So you're either eliminated or you're in still on that side of the continent. On the East, there's still a bunch of teams fighting for the last 2 spots. And that's something that's still going to be up for grabs there. Going to be interesting to see how it plays out. And then as far as it goes for us, we're still fighting for 4th. It's not wrapped up as of yet. I know some people saw that maybe it was clinched already because they got charged for their home playoff game tickets. Remember, guys, first round of the playoffs is a best of 3 series. So no matter what, there would be one playoff home game for us. But it's, is it the first playoff game or is it the second playoff game? They're charging for it already. So as it stands, we are currently in 4th. What does that mean? That means we control our own destiny. If we win against Atlanta, we retain the 4th position. Easy as that. That's scenario A, easiest one to do. If we lose and New York City FC gets a draw, we still stay in 4th. If they lose as well, also. So obviously, if they lose and we both teams lose, we still stay in 4th. So again, easy as that. Now it gets, if New York City FC wins and we do not win, that's where things get tricky. So currently we have a +3 goal differential advantage on them. And if we do not win and they win, we will be tied on wins. So wins in MLS are the first tiebreaker for some reason. I say for some reason because that's ridiculous. So if we tie and they win, they have to win by more than 3 goals, essentially, in order to beat us on goal differential to then move into the 4th seed. If we win, or if they win and we draw and they only win like 1-0, we are still the 4th seed. So that's really what it comes down to. It comes down to tiebreaker scenarios. If they win and we draw, we'll both finish on 53 points. Alex, did I miss anything describing what the scenarios look like?
I don't believe so. I think more the scenarios we should at least dive into is because fourth seed plays the fifth seed, and MLS was kind enough to give us those schedules for the round one best of three series. Those start Friday, October 25th, and go all the way through to Sunday, November 10th. So
Long
there
stretch.
yeah, it's a long stretch. I think there is one midweek match in there, pretty much guaranteed. The big scenario, I think, is Charlotte is sitting on 48 points. NYCFC is sitting on 50 points. So the only scenario, and forgive me if I'm wrong here, but if Charlotte beats, please load FootMob. If they beat DC United and NYCFC lose, then we're going to have at least one away match against Charlotte instead of dealing with the possibility of playing in Connecticut because of the Subway Series against NYCFC. Because the Mets have come back and are now 1-1 in the NLCS, and I don't have the Yankees played in the ALCS yet.
It's right now, actually. The game should be
Game
going
one.
on.
So
Yeah.
a lot going on in the tri-state area right now.
That there absolutely is. And yeah, so the other thing to keep note of, there's still multiple teams that have a possibility of getting into the playoffs. So right now it's currently DC United, Montreal, Philadelphia, and Atlanta that are fighting for the last two spots. Currently, DC United and Montreal have them. If they pick up any points, those spots belong to them. If they lose, however, and Philadelphia or Atlanta win, they would be in position to jump them. Philadelphia definitely has the easier path to be able to jump them. So you'll want to be on the lookout for that potentially happening. But you know, there's a lot of changing that's going to happen, and I also want to point out what you mentioned. Depending on how baseball continues to go, if right now 4 plays 5 and things hold the way that they are, if Orlando City plays New York City FC, there's a possibility that their home game is going to be in a field that they're less familiar with. They might not be able to play in a baseball stadium with an advantage because both the Mets and the Yankees are both playing really, really good baseball at the moment. So if they both end up in the World Series, that might ruin NYCFC's home advantage.
If worse comes to worse, they have to beg, plead, whine, and complain to Red Bulls, but even then, Red Bulls are going to have to do the same thing because if they drop, no, Red Bulls have no chance of dropping into the wild card spots, or they do?
No, they cannot.
Okay, so man, that's wild that all these schedules coincide. And even then, like, it's not like they can just go play it. Like, what was that? I keep joking about Connecticut, but was it where UConn plays that they played 1 or 2 matches at because of scheduling problems?
I believe they had to play there against like a team from Guatemala in Champions League a couple years ago. And I think you're right. It was Connecticut. It was in Connecticut, and I think it was UConn's football stadium because I know the USMNT or US Women's National Team have played in that stadium before because it's actually, I think it holds like 45,000 or something like that. Like it's a decent sized stadium, and the field is big enough for soccer. But yeah, they played there and got outnumbered by fans from, I believe it was Comunicaciones. Correct me, I might be wrong on that, from Guatemala. But they got outnumbered by traveling Guatemalan supporters in Connecticut, which is a little bit hilarious.
So, that's a great sentence, Stutter.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is what it is. We'll see if we might have a resurgent Cleon here at the end. Uh,
I'm
coming
not
back
dead
in.
yet.
He's
I got better.
apparently StreamYard was giving him issues and said that he wasn't on Google Chrome, and now he downloaded Chrome and tried getting back into it because he's using a different computer today. Cleon, are you there, my man? You there, Cleon? We good?
It's still lagged.
Yeah, you tried your best. Now we know. Now we know that the laptop doesn't work. So
I give up.
We tried it today.
Are the kids streaming shows? Gotta tell them to turn it off. Give dad the Wi-Fi.
So Cleon, while I got you back for 5 minutes, you can give me a shout out later and we can go over it if you want. But final game of the season, prediction against Atlanta. Cleon, I want you to give me the prediction. What's going to happen first? Oh no, he froze again. Trying to make it work. Cleon, if you're there, give me your prediction of what we're going to do against Atlanta. We're trying so hard.
I miss the days when I was doing this pod from my garage while doing cabinets. Those were the days.
Oh, what a time to be alive.
Beat Atlanta always.
Yes.
Can't nobody save him. Ain't no Joseph Martinez there. Ain't nobody there to save him. They're dead.
Dead in the water. I love it.
I'll be Cleon.
Oh, geez, that's too perfect. That's too perfect. Beat Atlanta always. I don't even care. I don't even need a score prediction. That's just perfect. I even put it. I even made the L capitalized when I talked about them.
I'm not even mad.
Oh God. All right, Alex. What's your prediction against Atlanta, man?
Oh, this is such a good match. Decision day, lot on the line for one team and some on the line for the other, but man, our form against Atlanta has not been great. We have not beaten them since July of last year in Atlanta, and we have not beaten them at home. I can't believe this. We have not beaten them at home since 2021, July of 2021. That big 3-2 match where Nani got that late go-ahead goal. That's how long it's been. I think this one is going to send their fans crying. It's going to improve our record in this rivalry. I'm thinking 3-1. I think I'm just going to will it into existence. Facundo Torres gets all three. I want it. It's been 10 plus years. It's been over 10 years. Give me the hat trick. Give it to me now. That's what I'm putting into the world. That's what I'm putting into existence. Beat it. It's like Cleon said. This has to be the title of the show. Beat Atlanta always. And guess what? I hate to break it to you all. We've only beaten them 4 times. This is going to be number 5. There's not going to be another draw. We're going to send them home. They're going to play golf. They're going to have to go watch Kirk Cousins.
Watching Kirk Cousins. I like it. And beat Atlanta always. I am going to go with a 2-0 win. I don't think I'm going to go 3-0, but I don't think we're going to let them score either, even though they got their new Russian attacking midfielder in Moranchuk. He's dangerous. Fully agree with that. But you know what is more dangerous? The final day of the season, a U.S. men's national team legend getting retired by Duncan McGuire. It happened last year. I'd love to see it happen again this year, and him sending Brad Guzan into the sunset. where I know Atlanta United fans would love to see him anyways. So why not give me a Duncan McGuire brace? Give him 2 more because he deserves them. And goodbye, Baldy. You can go ahead and retire with the other Baldy that Duncan retired at the end of last season and Michael Bradley. So
Okay, I was going to say my first question was who was it that he retired? And now I'm getting the flashbacks to Michael Bradley.
are you not
The
remembering the sombrero
Oh
beauty
no!
where he chipped it
Oh,
over his head?
it's coming back to me. But the other question is, I am honestly like I thought Brad Guzan had retired. I have not
He-
watched. Like, how is he still here? Like, good for you, keep going. But it's, dude, you got to hang it up. And I hope Orlando is the one that hangs it up for him because that would just make it even sweeter.
Yeah, he has not retired yet. But I this has to be close to the end for him because he's sitting at
I'm
what 30, he's got to be 37 years old, something like that.
let's take a look. Brad
38
Guzan.
maybe.
I am not one for bald violence against balds, but he is 40 years old.
He's
He was
40.
born in
Yeah, he's done.
19
He's done. He's
September
toast.
9th, 1984. Dude, retire, please. Go do commentary, go do something. Wow. I am sorry for Atlanta United fans that he is still their goalie.
The thing that I think that most of them are frustrated with is they went out and got Josh Cohen to be like the predecessor, and then they still just kind of rode with Guzan all year. I just don't think any of them wanted that. So,
I
but
mean, never mind the fact that they fired Pineda like what mid-season.
I mean, they all wanted that. I know that. They all wanted that, and they also wanted to get rid of Bocanegra, and he's gone too. So, realistically, if they don't make the playoffs, I feel like this is going to be the most tame Atlanta United not making the playoffs that we could possibly ever see, because of the fact that they're just happy that they're going to be fully into a rebuild at this point.
That's a shame. That's a shame.
It happens every once in a while. I mean, I would just like to be in the situation where we can now say that we are firmly above them at this point and knocking them out of the playoffs on playoff contention on decision day is just something that will make me a very happy Mike. So 2-0 for me, 3-1 for you. Always beat Atlanta for Cleon. I feel like that's where we're at. That's what we need.
It still makes me sad that we've only beaten them 4 times, but let's make it 5.
The thing is, these rivalries sometimes start out lopsided, but they eventually balance out at some point. We've been working on balancing it out over the past couple of years.
And unfortunately, that's what happened with Miami. I'm pretty sure that is balanced out pretty well.
Yep. Yes, indeed. Yes, it has. So, all right. With that being said, Alex, my man, you got any shout outs?
Oh man, it's been a minute, so I'm gonna take this opportunity to shout out FPL. This is not a sponsor announcement. I'm just saying thank you. It took 3+ days, 3.5 days, but I have power back. I can once again cool my house. I can once again cool my food without a generator that is burning dead dinosaurs that sounds like alive dinosaurs in my driveway. Shout out to my generator from Briggs and Stratton. And you know what? Shout out to the Chicago Bears for giving me way too much hope on an easy front-ended schedule. And then we have to play the rest of the teams in our division. And that's going to be a whole different thing.
Fair enough. I am not going to shout out the football team that I support because UCF and the New York Football Giants have not been good. So I'll let you have your moment.
Michigan's not doing that great, but you know what? I could live off that national championship for a decade. So
there you go. Even when they take it away from you. Even when they take it away from you.
Do you want to go there? You really want to go there?
I don't know enough about it to be completely honest, but at the same time,
I was gonna make claimed UCF national championship jokes, but even then, like,
It's in the record book.
whatever. It's in the record book. It's on the stadium. You know what? You can't take it away from them.
Exactly.
And besides, now you can just claim that when Jim Harbaugh was talking to whoever was causing the issue, he just had a heart flutter.
Yeah, could be it. I will say, just because you mentioned that, the only super cool player that I remember that I got to see in college while I was still attending UCF, and this was before he transferred to Wisconsin. I got to see UCF play NC State, quarterbacked by Russell Wilson.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So going back into the well a while back there, I think Russell Wilson finished like 10 for 21 or something like that. Like, this guy went on to win multiple Super Bowls. Or no, just one Super Bowl, I think. But
just
still,
one. Could have been more than one, but you got to hand the ball off.
Yeah, that's on Pete Carroll. As for me, for shout outs, I'll give a quick shout out to my Mets for giving me hope for once in my life. In regards to the Mets, for those of you that know, when I talked about losing my dog last year, my dog was named Shay. She was named Shay after Shea Stadium, where the Mets used to play. So something that's near and dear to my heart. I'd like to see them continue to win. But I'm on my way to adult super expensive Warped Tour this weekend. I'm going to When We Were Young Fest in Vegas, so I won't be there for Den After Dark for you guys. But I hope that you guys have a great time talking about Orlando City eliminating Atlanta United from the playoffs and us finishing with the 4th seed, because I think that's what's going to happen, and we're going to feel really good about it.
Who's headlining that?
It's headlined by My Chemical Romance. They're playing the Black Parade front to back, and Fall Out Boy is the other headliner. So
hell yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna be a good one. A lot of bands that I really love are playing it. And yeah, we got tickets for pre-shows on Thursday and Friday. We got tickets for a nice dinner. We're staying at Circus, which I hear is a little bit questionable, but there's a roller coaster in the hotel, so that's fun for some people, I guess. So.
Vegas in general is questionable. I've spent enough time there that it's questionable, but you know what? There's always something to do. You don't have to gamble. Like, don't get me wrong. Mike is sitting here going, do I need to sign up to get a Vegas gambling app or whatever? But you don't need to gamble. You don't need to drink. Just there's so many shows. There's such good food. Vegas is a fun time. And great golf.
Drinking is going to be mostly off the table for me while I'm there, and that's primarily just because drinking at the festival, I'm assuming, is going to be super expensive, and I don't believe in spending that kind of money for something like an exorbitant.
Well, that's if a beer legalized extortion.
Yeah, if a beer is $20, I'm not spending $20 on a beer. Like, that's just who I am as a person. I just kind of refuse.
Like those Formula One prices. Like, what in the world?
Dude, my cousin has gone to the Formula One race in Miami the past 2 years, and like just kind of listening to him talk on what he spends for the weekend to go down to it, I'm just like, you're sitting around one turn. Like, I don't know. For me, it just doesn't make sense.
I mean, you're going to My Chemical Romance and Fall Out Boy. I'm going to Taylor Swift in Miami on Sunday. So,
well, there you go. We're both having a time. So
we're definitely having a time.
Awesome. I love it. All right, man. Well, that's an episode. We still ended up stretching it out to being almost an hour. So I'm going to wrap it up here by saying I hope that, like I said, everyone's doing well in recovery efforts from the hurricane. We wish everybody well. Shout out to the linemen that have been working to restore energy everywhere. I know Duke, OUC, Florida Power and Lighting, they've all been working their butts off. Hope that everyone's safe, taking care of themselves and taking care of each other. That's the most important thing when this kind of stuff happens. And as always, we love you guys. We appreciate you. And Vamos Orlando. Let's close this season out strong.
Vamos.
Thanks for joining us this week on the Orlando Lions Den podcast. Don't forget to follow us at Orlando Lions Den on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. See you next week. in the Den.